Oh, look, it's two of me. Oh, hey, dude, what's happening? Mike, you can undeafen. Mike.
What the hell?
Oh, hey, there you are.
Yeah. Video.
Hey, video.
Yeah.
Hooray. All right.
What?
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's up to you if you wanted to put also a rating for this episode. I actually kind of figured maybe like quarters of a point, like round to quarter of a point maybe for the rating. What do you think?
You could do that.
They did 4. Well, I don't want to spoil it. If you wanted to throw in that, you could. But then I want to throw it.
Wait. Sorry, someone was texting me.
Okay.
Go again with that.
Do you want to throw in? Well, I don't know what you want to. Do you want to round your? I don't know if you want to round yours up or down. Then, based on that, for the.
Oh, I'd round it. If I always say if it's below 5, it's rounded down.
Yeah.
But then that would kind of take.
Oh, you say down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it's below 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could make it 0.25 or 0.5. I don't know, or you can leave it.
Well, what's the average if you go 4.5 and 4.3?
Yeah, it's about
4.4.
right. Exactly.
Oh, by the way,
this is
when
Mark talk about live. Yeah.
Well, I'm just wanting you to be aware. Are we live right now?
Yeah. That was my point of texting you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Sorry. Anyway.
Or talk to me later about.
Okay.
What do you want to give this episode?
Do I want to give this episode?
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to give this episode?
Wow, I ran out of music.
That was a good one. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
I'm gonna go 4 or 5.
You can just type it in. Like we're announcing it on the show, so like
why is it not working? No. There it goes.
yeah, there's different ways of doing averages, I suppose, but
Ooh,
interesting.
I got a new Funko Pop today, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Should I go get it? Should I put it in the show?
Sure. Wonder if that means it's related.
I wish. Actually, I got 2. One came in like last week, but I'm pretty proud of this one.
Yes, of course. Very nice.
And then I got Yelena.
Oh,
Yelena.
a little bit easier. Oh, okay. Nice. Very nice.
Eventually, they're going to go right here, and then you'll see them all the time. I was pretty happy to get those.
Very nice.
Yeah, I need to, spruce up my background because, I mean, you're like making me look like a joke.
Well, you've got. I mean, yeah. You could, if you put all your Funko Pops back there, that'd be another story.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're gonna go there. I just gotta stop forgetting not to order the shelving for it.
Nice. Okay.
Which,
I suppose that's about it. If you're ready to go.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, sounds good. I gotta remember to actually
Just drinking
record.
my seltzer water.
All right. And I'm gonna crank up the music again. Some might come through loud again. Fair warning again. All right. And in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Disnerds Plus, the show where we talk about your favorite nerdy shows on Disney Plus.
Yay, nerd shows.
We'll start with that guy over there. Hey, Mike, what's up?
Hey. What's up? What's up?
How's it going? That's Mike. I'm Shane. And it's Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. We're talking today about episode 2 of Moon Knight, Summon the Suit. So that's an episode we watched again. We did, in fact, watch it again together.
That was a really long pause.
It was a long pause. I was just thinking about how I was going to do this real quick. Previously on Moon Knight. So we're going to quick recap. Quick recap. We talked about Stephen Grant, who had like potentially a split personality of sorts on the surface of things. He issues in his bed. I mean, he was trying to tie himself to his bed, put sand around his bed and all that, try to figure out what was happening. Not necessarily figure out, just to know if he was leaving his bed in the night. And stumbled across this Arthur Harrow fella in this cult, which we still don't know if it was Europe or where the hell they were. This some sort
I feel
of
like it was in the somewhere in Germany. I don't know why. I feel like it's in Germany somewhere.
That could very well be.
Could be.
And
We'll see.
yeah, so he was following the Ammit, the Egyptian deity, and yeah, he keeps going in and out of blacking in and out as he's experiencing this crazy trip. He works in a museum and in the gift shop there, and let's see what else There's a scarab that this Arthur guy is trying to get back, this gold scarab, and they go down some crazy chase scene trying to get it back from him, and winds up seeing him again in the museum. And there's a jackal, I'm told now. It's a jackal of some Egyptian jackal of some kind that hunts him down eventually, and sooner or later turns into, you see at the very end of that episode, the proper Moon Knight. Anything else to add about that?
No, I think you nailed that on the old coffin right there.
Pretty simple summary there, but
Yeah.
and that leads me that just leads us to this right here. We're gonna give it a rating here this time. I think we're coming out with Mike at 4.3, me at 4.5. We're giving it a 4.4 that first episode. Overall, out of 5 possible moons, I suppose.
Oh, there you go. Not stars, but moons.
Exactly.
I like it.
All right. Well, so now on to episode 2, Summon the Suit. There's a lot to unpack here, so we're going to go through it one by one. But first off, we start off the episode with him waking up. I put walks up here for some reason. He wakes up and immediately proceeds to fall flat on his face with his strap still tied to himself,
Pretty sure he
and
forgot that part.
and he's right off the bat. He's trying to make contact in his mirror with Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. And he's unable to at that point. Next scene, we see him going back into the museum. He sees a repair guy walking out there. Naturally, due to some damages that may have happened in the restroom area there from the previous episode. And first, he starts talking to security guy right away. Or I don't remember who talked to whom first, but very clearly
Security guy, I think, talked to him first, and then they got
still
in a
calling him.
little.
What was that?
Called him Scotty.
Yes, he's still calling
Hey,
him.
Scotty.
Right.
What's up, Scotty? You gonna fix that warp drive today, Scotty?
Still keeps calling him that. But so Steven immediately wants to watch the security footage for obvious reasons. And he's telling him how it's an Egyptian jackal. Or first he's like hyping him up. You're going to see something incredible on this thing out of this world. And that it's going to be this Egyptian jackal on there. And turns out there is absolutely no evidence on there other than him stumbling around the museum.
He looks like a crazy man. That's all.
Right.
It really makes him look like a crazy man when they just make him. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I think we'll find out later on and why he can see things that other people can't. But
Yes, perhaps we will. So the jumps to him talking to, I think, HR it is, of the museum. And they're telling him how they're not going to press charges for all the bathroom damages. But they are recommending doctors to him based on this evidence. And although it is kind of crazy to be like, I don't know how they think one person could cause that much damage by themselves with no actual weapons or anything on them, but
I mean,
they don't. That's sort
maybe
of a
that's
hand wavy thing, I guess.
maybe that's why they said you should go to the doctors because they think something's wrong with them.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He doesn't have any. He doesn't appear to be. Well, actually, was he? Was he bloodied? He should have been if he wasn't.
I don't think he was. I mean, he woke up back in his bedroom after
Right.
we saw him last. So
So then he proceeds to get sacked, as the Brits like to say, or fired from his position there at the museum. Uh, we then see him talking to his friend, the Gold Man, by the fountain,
gold man.
and in his talking to him, he learns. I don't know how he knew about this storage locker already. I guess I don't remember how he knew about it. Do you recall as he's talking it through it with him?
He had a key. He had a key because he found a
Okay.
key in the cell phone in the last episode.
That's right. Okay, that's right.
And we
Got
haven't.
it.
He had the cell phone, but he didn't see what the key was doing. So that's why we got the key.
So then, in talking this through,
And
he
now, do you want? Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you want to know why the number 43 is involved?
Okay, we'll get to that in just a second.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
do want to mention that he hugs the gold guy in this realization. And then, yes, we do right away. When he gets to the storage locker place, we hear him talking about. He's talking to the guy at the front desk. At first, he's like talking to him, and the guy's just kind of like staring at him for a while. Then he's like, "I know you." Like after he rambles on
Oh,
for
the
a
whole
while.
spiel, yeah.
Yeah, and then yes, he says number 43. That's right. So go ahead. What is the origin of this locker number?
So it is based on the comic of Mark Spector, Moon Knight, Volume 1, number 43. One of the first, I don't think it's the first issue of Moon Knight, but it's one of the times you get to see Moon Knight, in his comic glories.
Nice. Good to
But it's
know.
calling out that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big that's a big Star Wars thing too, is to like incorporate a bunch of numbers, secret numbers into the movies and everything. That's cool.
What, like FN 2187?
2187. What was that
The other
cell
one,
number? Cell number is
oh,
I can't even think of it. 13, not 1337. That's late. Uh, but THX 1138. There's that. Oh, maybe that is what
oh
it
yeah.
is. Maybe that is the cell block. Anyway, so yeah, in this storage locker, which is I actually so they he takes the bag out of they bring the bag out of the storage locker. I don't know how that worked. The whole room wasn't a storage locker, right?
It was like storage, but it was also like a spot to sleep. It had a cot,
So it was like yeah.
probably had MREs in there, everything. It looked like pretty
Okay.
military.
Yeah, okay. So it was actually a storage unit and not just a locker, I guess. But
Yeah, it
uh
was a big storage unit.
right. In there um there's a duffel bag and in there he finds a gun, a pistol, cash,
Did you
passport.
notice? Did you notice though the pistol had like some kind of marking on it? I couldn't see it, but looked like it had like an engraving on it. I wonder if it's
Okay.
just for Mark or
Thought
maybe
yeah,
that's his stuff. I don't know.
I noticed some.
But actually, it is probably Mark's because it seems like that's his stash.
Yeah, for sure. I noticed some gold. I thought I had some gold on the gun or something too, but
Looked like could be.
I only saw it for a hot
Maybe
second. But
we'll see it again.
so there's also a passport in there that does say Mark Spector on it, and that's correct me if I'm wrong. And at least in this series, the first time we actually see his Mark's last name,
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think they said Spectre last
right?
episode at all. They
And
said Mark, but not.
because I'm so unfamiliar with the comic, I didn't even know that was his well as it, I don't know anything about the comic, so I guess that's like his
I
proper
don't
name
know.
in the comic.
I mean, this is. I mean, yeah, that's Mark Spector. That's one of the comic names. So Mark Spector. There's Stephen Grant, and then there's Kanchu.
Yes, and we will get
The
to all of those here shortly. But yes, so also in that duffel bag is that gold scarab as well. And as soon as he takes, or shortly after he takes that thing out of there, the thing starts hovering for whatever
oh,
reason.
you're talking about the scarab
Yep.
hovering?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not like it's even flying. Like it's not. I don't even think the wings are moving on this thing. It's more
Well,
like it's.
it's it has a piece of it that came up, and that's it. The other piece is still on his palm,
Okay.
so it's like levitating over its own base or something like that, like it's magnetic in
Right.
ways.
Yeah. Exactly. Um. And I don't know the reasoning why that happened exactly, but
I don't know. Didn't he just touch it and then it started doing that?
yeah, it seemed to be the case. Then Mark again does try contacting him in the mirror, trying to I think trying to get him to was he trying to get him to take over right away again? I think he was because he was saying he was in
Yeah, I
danger
believe
or
he
something.
was. Yep.
And Mark proceeds to tell him that he is Khonshu's avatar, which is the Egyptian god of the moon, which I think Herschel might have mentioned that last episode while we were live, but um, or maybe they mentioned that on the show. I can't remember what was. There was a lot of different gods and things to try to figure out here, and I think I've got them down a little further after this episode. But
That's
he
good.
what's that?
I said, "Oh, that's good."
Yeah, so Steven gets pretty pissed at this guy at Mark and tries to escape this place, and then immediately starts getting chased by Khonshu again. And I don't. Um, they may have referenced that this was. I'm picking this up now that's what our plague doctor looking Egyptian god is
Oh,
now
yeah,
in this
yeah. I
episode.
think maybe his head's supposed to look like a crescent moon.
Could be. It
Ah,
looks like some kind of bird though.
it does look like a bird. It looks like a big, super big beak
Like a
of some
bird
sort.
skull though. And
Maybe, maybe.
yeah, so yeah, it's actually a really cool scene where you're seeing the lights go on and off. And I guess it was kind of foreshadowing when the guy first walked in there. And you kind of made a comment about how annoying those lights were turning on as they're walking down the
No
hallway.
lights would ever be that loud.
Yeah, someplace, maybe industrial
I think those
side.
sound effects guy was getting a little too gung ho with the light sounds.
So then, as he's trying to escape, we see Khonshu in and out, like fading in and out, in a spooky sort of manner. Uh, he manages to get out of the place though, and trips and
You,
falls. Wait, did I miss a part?
yeah. No, I was just gonna add that it seems like lately Marvel's been really going for that scare effect for things,
Oh, yeah.
because
Hint,
that
hint.
was that was that was pretty scary. Like in like that. I mean, I was like, if you were in there in that situation, empty locker hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and just one light above you, and then just goes out and then goes opening one light, turns on the other light, and then they keep turning on, and then all of a sudden you got this big Skeletor looking dude up and on you, and yeah, I'd I'd poop my pants.
I'm trying to think of a clever name combining a bird name with Skeletor here, but I'll have to workshop that one. Uh, so as he's
Pellicor.
there you go. So as he's running out of the building, I think he trips and he lands on the road and then nearly gets run over by a motorbike of sorts. And it turns out that's Layla. Just happens to be who we talked to on the phone in the previous episode. And next thing we see, she's giving him a ride, and it's kind of awkward for whatever reason. You don't know at the time why it's awkward. She's like, "Don't put your hands on my like that or whatever," and he's like, "What do I
Shoulders,
hang
because it
on
felt
to?"
like felt like a what did she say? Something to make him sound like a sissy or something like that.
But then also
Like,
happens
"Ah."
to throw out there that they're married.
Oh yeah, that's. Hey, by the way, we're married. What?
Yeah. So just as much of a surprise to me. This is they're revealing a lot. A lot is getting revealed in this episode. But he just says to take him to his flat, and which I guess is actually his mom's, or originally was.
Mommy.
And uh, they go back there, and then she also makes a comment because it's his mom's. She also makes a comment about, oh, so you're talking now, talking to it, and so there's a lot to know. I'm guessing maybe we'll get to see or meet or hear from his mom in future episodes. We'll probably learn
Yeah,
a little more about that.
but yeah, I was kind of curious. Like, who? Okay, is he actually calling his mom, or is his mom not real, or is it
Mm.
just what's
Oh yeah,
who's
that
who's
could just
calling really?
be. Yeah, that could have just been a story or something. We shall see.
Yeah, I think. Well, we only have what? This is only a 6 episode series, so yeah, they're gonna have to wrap it up already, or bring it about.
Yep, that's true. So she's kind of wandering around his place a little bit and sees he's got a French book, and it's not only is it he says it's his favorite author, and then she says no, it's mine, and they both are speaking French at one point, and I think she's kind of taken aback from this. And then makes a comment about, oh, so you're learning French and hieroglyphics, and so that was a surprise to her. This is again somebody that she thinks she knows and seems like a very different person, but she's still not buying. She still thinks this is all an act.
Yeah, couldn't he couldn't sell her at all. Like
Right.
even with the British accent, it still didn't work. It's like, come on, he's literally not breaking it. There's something wrong here. Come on, catch on.
Yep.
But she didn't until like I mean, later on, I guess. Oh.
Right. And as soon as she brought up papers, I immediately knew it was going to be divorce papers that she was talking about, but it was papers that she said he had sent to her, and that he apparently wanted, or Mark wanted, uh, distance, or what did he say, to that she should move
Well,
on. That she should move on. I think.
I think it
And
was. I feel like it was a protection type of
yeah,
play.
that seems to be the case. And you see that real quickly after that because he wants to show her, like, he wants to show her what's in the duffel bag, and he or uh, Mark in the mirror is like, "Don't do it, don't you do it." Keeps saying
Mm-hmm.
it, gotta protect her,
Protector.
and then he stops after he says they'll try to kill her, and or she'll be in danger, I think is what he says, and then he stops. She then goes and pushes him aside, and the first thing she pulls out of there is the scarab, and she seems very distraught about this, that he has the scarab now. She knows about the scarab, first of all.
She also looks pissed in one point too.
Yeah, she's upset. She's pretty pissed about this, and
Oh, yeah.
so we had to look at the subtitles for this next comment, but she calls it, quote, the scarab pointing to Amit's Ushabti is how I'm going to pronounce that.
Yep. I think you got it pretty well. That's pretty good.
But we don't actually know what that means, right? I mean, we could probably
Well,
look that up.
yeah, you could look it up, but I'm gonna assume it's something to do with Amit's. I'm gonna go with the tomb of some sort, or house,
That could be. That could be.
or something that's going to find Amit.
Yes, it looks like, it basically looks like a sarcophagus.
Ah, see, there it is, tomb. They're going for the tomb.
Well, right. I will specifically say maybe like a. It's funny you mentioned coffin before, because I it's basically Egyptian coffin is what I guess sarcophagus is, right? Although I don't know
Correct.
what the difference is between that and a. Maybe people use that term incorrectly. But anyway, write us and let us know if if we're off base there. So then there's a knock at the door, and it's DC. I put agents. They call them DCs. DC. I haven't looked up what DC means. Detective of.
Constable.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm
You're
just
probably
guessing.
right. That sounds totally legit. Constable is totally a thing in the UK, right? So I'm gonna say you're right without really knowing. Hey, how's it going?
Detective Constable. I just looked it up. I had to. I was right. Woohoo! What do I get? What do I win?
You win a prize of some kind.
I win Captain Carter.
Yeah, nice. What's going on, JW? Is it JW Reezy or J Reezy? We're doing well. We're just talking about episode 2 of Moon Knight here. How are you? So yeah, these
Day and night.
officers of sorts knock at the door, and they kind of barge in themselves, and we don't know where Layla went at this point. But they're looking around the place, and
They seemed a little off for police officers
yeah,
for some reason. He just caught it as they started just pushing themselves in without a warrant or anything. Well, of course, it's the UK, so maybe their laws are different. But I mean, just pushing yourself in there without being offered to come in seems a little out of nowhere.
Yep, that
That's
is
what was a red flag for me. But
absolutely.
carry on.
Yeah, so yeah, I think they seem to be looking for something as they're poking around there, and I think when they can't find it, they take him in. We do see Layla has gone out the window and is just on the roof there, and or on the balcony, or I don't remember exactly. I guess she was
It
kind
was
of
a
on.
roof. I
Yeah.
would say it was on the side of the. Yeah, it was on the roof.
Right. And then so, like, who makes the comment about how? Oh yeah, it is the officers in the vehicle, or the quote unquote officers in the vehicle are talking about I think they have photos or something of people that are zip tied and got shot in the back of the head that apparently Mark is responsible for. And
Oh yeah, he's like, and then they name him like a mercenary. Basically, there's like, oh, he's a mercenary from. I think I said the U.S. Maybe I could be wrong, but I know they said mercenary in there.
right,
So makes sense. That's based on what I've read about Mark Spector. That's kind of like the background too.
right. So then after they're talking a bit in the vehicle, which I guess did it look like a did it actually look like was it like an unmarked police vehicle?
I don't remember
Yeah, it
that
wasn't
part.
really. I don't think it looked like a police vehicle, but I could be wrong. We didn't get a great look at it, but we do notice that the guy in the right side. So I always get this mixed up. So they're in. He's the passenger, or is he the driver? And where they're at right
He would have been the driver. Yeah, he would have been the driver. It was right hand driving.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's why his
he
hand was in the air, and you could see that pendulum thing showing.
right. So yeah, he did notice, or we noticed that he's got a scale tattoo as well. So we know something's a little fishy at that point. And he notices there's a girl or a woman outside playing with, I don't know if it's a volleyball or something, and also has one of those tattoos. And then pretty much right away we see, after he stumbles out of the vehicle, or they take him out of the vehicle, we see Arthur and his cane show up. Or so we think it's just a. I mean, I guess we knew it was more than just an ordinary cane at this point because we've seen its swivel action on people's arms, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't tell you that something's magical about it, then I don't know what tells you.
Right.
That's
Mm-hmm. And then so we get. Is this the first time we hear Kanju actually trying to talk to him? Because
talk to Steven?
yeah, actually using words because he's
No, I mean, I thought I talked to him in the last episode when he first figured out he was in another country.
oh
But
okay.
he wasn't really being nice to him. He's just like, "You're an idiot. Just
I'm
give
just
back
putting that
control to Mark."
together that's who we were calling the narrator guy. That
That's the
makes sense
guy.
now. Okay.
That's Kanchu. At least
Yes.
he didn't know his name. I don't think yet.
Now I'm putting together that that's the same voice too. But he tells he's telling Steven to kill him though. He's telling Steven to kill Arthur. Which, by the way, to be clear, last episode I was referring Arthur mostly as Ethan Hawke, but henceforth we're gonna try to use the character names as much as, or I'm gonna try to as much as I can here at least. But he says to kill him, and Arthur is also he's like, is he telling you to kill me, or is he telling me? Yeah,
Yeah, he seems like he knows a lot our background about Kanchu, so I can't wait to see what that's about.
right.
That's
Yeah, it's
be
kind of cool.
interesting.
It's kind of interesting. He's communicating to him that way. Yeah. So uh, it's so weird. Like it goes back and forth so much with Arthur. Like, is he good? Is he bad? Like it's just
Yeah.
constant back and forth. You know what it actually reminds me of? I kind of made on the previously on at the beginning. I kind of made a Lost reference.
Mhm.
This is getting Lost vibes to me. If you ever watched Lost and like the Dharma Initiative, it's kind of feeling like that. Like, I don't
I never.
know. Are they good or bad or not? I don't know.
That is
But
a show I never got to watch, or never watched. I could watch. I never watched.
there's so many episodes, but it's so good. um, it's like back when they did 24 episodes a season, and then that slowly went down over time. But
Oh, I'm
still,
so happy they don't do that anymore.
I know. Thank God we have 6 episodes season or series
Right?
like this. Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to rewatch the whole like Star Trek TNG like era, and that's every season's like 27 episodes. It's like, ugh.
Oh
I'm only
man,
doing
yeah.
that because I'm watching Picard and they reference stuff, and I'm just like, okay, well, you guys suck.
You're watching John Luke Pickard. Nice,
Yeah, it's pretty good. They brought the Cube back. Come on, you gotta watch it.
nice. John Delancey, who's in
John
Breaking
Delancey.
Bad, and I didn't recognize him at first. Anyway,
Did I give you that number that you can call and it gives you
yeah,
the Q continuum?
yep,
Yeah,
that was funny.
that was great.
And so there's an example of a reference in a show that you could dial in a number that was apparently on the show, and or was it on the show? Did you say?
Yeah, it was literally an Easter egg on the show. It was a printed cue card from a 3D printer, and the bottom of it had a number on it. So if everyone paused, like, oh, well, let me try that number, and you call it, and
Oh,
it says, "Thank you for contacting the Q continuum" or something like that.
nice. Well,
I'm like, that's sweet.
so I guess there's a QR code in this episode. We learned from video series on YouTube that sends you to a digital copy of a
Moon
comic
Knight.
of Moon Knight.
Right. Actually, is that the maybe is that the first one shows up in? I don't remember what it came up to be, but anyway.
Yeah, it's cool though. I love that kind of stuff, and I don't like I'd never have noticed
I
it
know
if
that'd be nuts if they start doing it. Oh, look, there's like a QR code in the show. Watch they start doing it in movies. Be like, it's bust their phones out. Wait, I gotta grab it.
right. Yeah, hopefully not too much of that.
Yeah, right. That better not happen in Multiverse of Madness. I'll be pissed.
Right. All right. So he's Arthur starts showing him around whatever this neighborhood that he claims used to be a bad neighborhood or something. You know, had a lot of crime and they whatever they did they say, and we know they're followers of Amit,
Amit,
but
I I don't know. There's something weird about these places he's at. These followers. It's like it's weird. I don't
I,
know if they're like fully there.
yeah, they don't seem to be, but they don't like. I don't know if they've actually given them a name, like as a group at this point, other than being followers.
I just call them a cult. It looks like a cult. It smells like a
Right.
cult. You know.
He starts speaking Mandarin to one of the residents, presumably here, and they said they all aspire to learn three languages there, I guess. And takes him into was it like a church like building?
Looks like it. Yeah.
Talks about how food is free. Um,
Clothing, clothe you, and all
right.
this. Yeah, all this stuff they have. I don't know what was up. Those people are just sitting there in front of a screen with their headsets on. It's like all like I don't know if they were like all jacked up on something. It just looked like they were just enjoying life,
If
but
that doesn't
in
scream
a
cult,
weird
I don't
way.
know what will. Like they're
Right.
literally being brainwashed.
Watch some
um,
birds as they fly away.
yeah, so they sit down. They have because they're talking about how they're both vegan, I guess,
Mm.
so they sit down and have some lentil soup together, and
Soup,
talks
good
about
soup.
how Khonshu. I guess he said he was banished from like the other gods. I guess the other
That's
Egyptian gods.
yes, yes. Khonshu was banished by the other gods for that. I don't know what. We haven't heard why, but
Right.
that will probably be coming down the episodes we see.
Another thing we learn as they're sitting down is that Arthur Harrow uh, he's claiming he was actually Khonshu's former avatar,
Hmm.
and and then we hear Stephen make a comment about uh, Ahmed being a weird crocodile lady at one point, which I don't know if I put together that
But
Ahmed actually was a crocodile god.
I think I think Arthur is Amit's avatar. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think that I thought
Since
that
we're saying
was
here about these avatars like all around now, it's like Avatar, Avatar, Avatar. It's like where we gonna see blue people soon or what?
yeah. Yeah, or a dude with an arrow on his forehead, one of those. But
You know,
the thing I guess I assumed that was the case that Arthur was Amit's avatar because he keeps making reference to how he can't hear Khonshu anymore. Uh, but yeah, it does seem like Amit is maybe his current or he's the avatar of Amit presently.
Well, he broke it. It sounds like you have to make a deal with Khonshu. Well, maybe it's you have to make a deal with any god to be their avatar.
But if Ahmed is like a crocodile god, it's kind of weird that he keeps summoning jackals. But I don't know.
I did. I don't know how the whole background of the Egyptian deity and how that all works.
Which I may have jumped ahead just a minute here, but something I noticed. So as they're sitting down, they're talking it through the how Khonshu has this sort of he only punishes those that have already done wrong was kind of the main thing, and then Amit tends to have this like prejudgment sort of mentality to kill people that are already evil or whatever, and haven't even necessarily done anything wrong. And I just immediately started thinking of Minority Report when I
The
when I heard that with the what do they call them, the precogs?
precogs, yeah. Wow, I haven't watched that in a long time. The precogs.
Right, and the whole deal there was that the three precogs can predict people are, gonna kill or whatever, and um, if you've watched that movie, well, go watch that movie. Basically, it's not, uh, it's an old movie, but I don't think I can spoil a little something by saying that it's not doesn't
I mean,
end
it's a
up
good
being
movie.
deemed right to do. And I think some of that mentality is going through Steven's head as he's talking to him because he talks. They start talking about how murdering children, like that's not cool, man. Like
Hmm.
uh, and he's you can see it going through Steven's head that he's like, yeah, maybe I don't think this guy is actually the good guy here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't equate. I liked his thought though. He's like, oh well, how can you judge someone for something they haven't done yet? That's doesn't seem right.
Right,
You know,
and
that's
it
where she's killing children and they haven't done anything 30 years prior. It's like, that's messed up.
right. So there is actually a line then that uh, no, I said I wasn't going to say the name wrong, but oh my God, Arthur says to Steven about the cane being Amit's first gift to her avatar, which I guess Amit is a she, um,
Yes,
which is
it is
to
a.
me made it pretty clear that that's who he is, but maybe not necessarily. Um, then then they're really trying to like then they're back on like where's the scarab? Where's the scarab, Steven? Like um, they're really hounding me. He's like, I don't have it. Oh, I don't have it. And then where is it? Or do you know who might have it? They proceed to. Layla then shows up out of nowhere, and with the scarab just in her hand, and then you don't know what you're doing with that. You don't know how much power you have there.
Sounds like a villain's line.
Yeah. And then she starts asking right away Steven if he can summon the suit, uh, which he has no idea how to actually do outside of letting Mark in, which we don't, for whatever reason, we don't see Mark at this point. Oh, we do. He is in the bowl.
Yeah, he's in a bowl. Yeah, he's talking a little bit.
So any reflective service, it seems like he'll see him there. But
Hmm.
yeah, so then they run off, fairly easily it seems. I don't know. They try to stop him, his followers, but they get away somewhat. I think they end up blocking themselves in the door. Well, before that, we get to see Layla actually kick some ass with someone, which
Oh, yeah.
she has some fighting skills. It turns out for one reason or another, and
Spy.
I don't know. Then we see Arthur pound down his cane on the ground and make this like purple energy seem to kind of seep through the ground. And he speaks what the subtitles say in Coptic, which I don't know what that means either, if that's a language or what that is.
Never
But
heard that.
Yeah. So we start seeing another creature come out of the ground right after that. And we don't know exactly. At first, I'm thinking maybe this is a different kind of creature. Um,
It looked like a jackal with white hair on it.
you're right. But at
Look
first,
like
we
Grandpa Jackal.
initially we just see like the arm or leg or whatever you want to call it coming out of the ground. They end up locking themselves in a room, and again, Mark is asking to be let in, and um, they're coming through. He's thinking he's like Layla's talking to him, trying to convince him, and then and Mark, both of them are trying to convince him to let him in, and he just says no, I can't, I just can't, and then again the jackal. It is a jackal, yes, in fact, another jackal. Um, bash, you know, bashes itself through the door once more, and this time it gets knocked out of the window. And as he's falling, all we hear him say is "suit," I think.
Yeah.
And he knocks his head on a pole and flips around,
Oh, that was
falls on the ground.
funny.
And we do see he has some form of a white suit on.
Do you know what that form is called, though?
I don't even know what the original form is called.
Well, I mean, he got Moon Knight, which is the main form. This one is called Mr. Knight because it's just a nice white suit.
Yes, he is in an
So
actual.
it's like, I wonder if it's like because you got the American guy has to take over the main suit, like the heroic Superman kind of thing, right? And then you got the UK guy, Brits, being all fashionable
proper,
and
yeah.
polite and proper. He says suit, and it's like, oh, it's a Brit. All right, here you go. You're looking proper with a mask on,
That's a good
and
observation. Yeah,
and some poles that he pulls out of nowhere.
that's right. He has like, yeah, what the heck? It looks like a certain kind of weapon. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah. So he has
Clubs.
a different, yeah, so, batons maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
So he, because he's like, as soon as he falls down and gets back up, he looks in happens to be a mirror right there, of course, and he makes a comment. He's talking to Mark then, and he's like, what are you wearing?" And he calls him Psycho Colonel Sanders.
that was awesome.
Yeah, this
That
one
was good.
we'll see at the end of this, but I may have rated this one a little bit higher because I think I found there were some moments I laughed a little bit more in this one. But so then we see he starts getting, despite being in whatever this Mister, what'd you say it was, Mister Knight?
Mr. Knight. Yes.
Despite
Mr.
being in
Knight.
this suit, he is still getting knocked around quite a bit by this jackal. And so we see Layla is kind of confused. She's seeing him get hit, knocked around, and everything, but she's not seeing the jackal just like everyone else. And I shouldn't say everyone else. I assume that maybe all the followers of.
I think the avatars can see them.
Sure, the avatars can see.
Here's my now here's a theory. Here's something I was thinking while we were watching this. I was thinking, now is this showing like there's like some sort of supernatural plane that we can't see, but if you're a certain type of avatar, you can see all these type of beings and things walking around, where like in the normal plane you can't see them.
Right. Yeah.
Because there are different planes of existence technically in the MCU.
Yes. Different planes of existence, which you just got tickets for today. For
Yes.
upcoming
Yes.
film. And I can't help but think, speaking of that, I can't help but make the connection with the both Steven also, which I don't know.
I mean, there's a few characters in Marvel that's named Steven or
Okay,
Steve.
fair enough. I guess it's a common name. Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's weird that there's at least three that just.
I mean, maybe whoever wrote them, originally wrote them, Steve. A lot of Steves. Maybe a Steve was a common name back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. So even though she can't see this, Eventually, Layla's able to actually hit it with, I don't remember what she hit it with exactly.
Broken glass.
Yes,
Stabs it, but that didn't really affect it because
didn't
he
do a
just kind
whole
of pulled it
lot,
out
but
and just
but sh I
broke.
was kind of
Yeah.
surprised she was able to hit it at all, and sure she was just as surprised. Something that she can't see at all. But we do see a little bit of after she hits it, and maybe it was just the glass kind of shattering off it that you could see some of the texture of the jackal, at least from her perspective. But yeah, so then eventually this fighting's going on a while. They're both kind of working at hurting it, and he gets to actually hit the jackal with his fist. Well, I guess his glove, right? Um,
Right.
and it does actually knock it back initially, um, which probably surprised himself. I mean, he had the confidence about for whatever
Well, he
reason.
looked at it, he's like, "Holy crap, I did it."
Yeah,
Kind of feel. I mean, I would too. Would be like, "This is awesome."
right. And then right away gets kicked back again from the jackal. They wind up in the street. You know, cars are trying to avoid him a little bit here, and then this scene was kind of interesting. It looks he like a car was gonna hit him, then he kind of pushed the jackal into the car, so maybe the
Yeah.
jackal got hit, and then we see him just on the ground laying there, and the jackal may have gotten hit a little bit, but it's fine. So then at that point, that's when Steven gives up. He's looking in the reflection of a vehicle, I think, and says, "Okay, just for now," or whatever. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. He definitely takes like. Well, no. Steven asks, or no, Steven does that ask like what like a little bit, and then he just kind of like, okay, here you go. Then we get this badass transformation of Mark turning into Moon Knight.
yes, we finally get to see the actual transformation, which in the previous episode we was only a jump to him being in uniform. Um, which I didn't even put together that we see that in the trailer. The first trailer is that same scene where he's walking out of the bathroom. I think they showed that
Mm.
in the very first the initial trailer for Moon Knight. Then we see him start taking these weapons out of his moon shaped weapons out of his chest, which form the moon on his chest, kind of like an Iron Man style circle over his
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll go with that one.
Not at all, but um, and then he's for whatever his first reaction is to run from it because he's got a plan here, I guess. He's running. He winds up at the top of buildings. He's leaping from like a superhero does, leaping from tall buildings,
Doing his
and
superhero moves, you know.
jumps from
Whee!
building to building to building, and then knows exactly where to run the right way to get this jackal to land on a spike or a spire of some kind, and the jackal is no more.
It reminded me. I feel like it reminded me of a move um, a werewolf movie or something like this. Just all of a sudden just fell on the spike and got impaled.
That or like a velociraptor. I don't know. I think that happened in the Lost World or
Oh
something.
yeah, the Velociraptor did
Yeah, but
it.
you're right. Yeah, that is probably
But American Werewolf, maybe that happened too. I
it's
don't know.
probably
Maybe
honestly kind of a tropey thing, but it's yeah, like it's been done a
it's true.
thousands of times, but it got the job done, and I don't even
Yeah,
know
I
if he
did.
needed his moon moon
This crest,
swords or whatever they are. Yeah,
moon swords.
actually don't. I have no idea what those are called, but
They're like they're weapons of some sort. They're
some
his
sort of
weapons.
weapon. Yeah,
He's probably got more powers. We just haven't seen them all yet.
right. Then we see him untransform, the reverse animation of that, and he immediately notices he is missing the scarab. I don't know how. Like they could have a secure. How did he lose it? Did he lose it or did
Must have it must have fell out of his while he was fighting or something. I don't know.
uh,
I didn't
yeah?
realize he lost it.
We don't really know for sure. I would guess it probably happened when before Mark took over. Feels like he could secure it better in that white suit. But although that's
Mm.
right, they both had a varying form of a white suit, I suppose. But
True.
was that the transformation? Like, did he just go from one white suit to another? Is that what happened?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, because he just went. He had the mask off for the Mr. Knight, and then he transformed into Moon Knight.
Gotcha. So he realizes he's kind of screaming in anguish that he doesn't have it for obvious reasons. Then we see Arthur is picking up the scarab from the street, and
No,
or I'm
no,
sorry,
no,
I
no,
got it wrong.
no,
Okay,
no,
okay,
no,
I
no,
got it, I
no,
got it, I
no,
got
no.
it. I just misread my notes. Settle down. The we see an old or a man of some kind has it, or you go ahead.
Mm.
What happens?
Sees the old. It's probably sees. I think the guy was old. He's an old man, or he was homeless. Maybe homeless. Got the scarab, and Arthur saw him grab the scarab, and he says, "I can't let you have that, but I have food and shelter and clothes and yada yada yada." But I mean, doesn't really make it that far because once you take the scarab, he basically kills the guy with his little fancy pendulum judgment thing.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if it was just like as soon as he touches the dude, does he just die because he's not righteous or whatever, or like
Probably because seems like if you touch him,
it seemed like
that's
a quicker judgment than we've seen prior.
right. Didn't seem like much judgment actually happened. Just kind of happened like that.
Yep, yep. That guy he's like, yeah, because he makes a comment like he talks him down. He's like, you don't. However, he got it back from him. He was just calmly like telling him to like, please, that it's not yours to take or whatever. And then yeah, proceeds to kill him. But
Uh,
the one thing, so at first when I saw Mark untransform or whatever the right term is there, I at first I'm like, is it Steven now? Question mark. And then it wasn't, turns out. Still uh still Mark in
oh,
the quote unquote main world. And we see Steven is now on the inside talking to him through reflections. And he was it Steve, or I'm sorry, Mark makes a comment about how Khonshu has his eyes on Layla as his next avatar,
mm-hmm.
and so Mark keeps wanting to protect her. He doesn't want that to be the case, and Steven is like, he's like, this is terrible. Like, I hate this, and being on the inside, like he's paralyzed or whatever, essentially
Mm.
can't move, kind of a thing, and I don't know what exactly pissed Steven off enough to start kicking in the glass.
Steven or Mark?
Mark,
Mark
sorry.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's hard
yeah.
to.
Mark was kicking the glass. Steven was still stuck in the glass. Technically, he's stuck inside the glass
Yeah, what was the thing that he was pissed about him so much that he felt compelled to do that? Like he just
because
wouldn't,
he just kept on. Just wouldn't shut up. He
just
just
kept
kept on
nagging to
going.
try to let him take back over or something.
That seems like that's Steven's thing. Just nag and he'll win or something. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, that's how
Right.
you take over. He took over. He gave up.
And then we see Khonshu show up again, this time talking with Mark. And at first, Khonshu's like talking about how their agreement or whatever is, if it's in peril or something, or if like he's not holding up to his end of whatever deal they have or something.
Mm.
And, um, Khonshu at that point does make a comment about he at least he doesn't call her by name, but he does seem to allude also to uh, Layla being his next when he's got his eyes on as being his avatar, which, as Mark said, he doesn't want that. But they go on, keep talking about whatever arrangement or agreement that they have, and they make a new agreement, or they just
Seemed like
solidify
it.
their existing agreement.
seemed like something happened, like either a new agreement or something finalized it.
Right.
But then, yeah, that
So
was it
so
was. I mean, we'll probably learn. Whatever. It's kind of a cliffhanger, so
yes, because they so whatever agreement they make again there, they say, all right, well, or Mark says, all right, well, where are we going then? Or and then he's like, where the hell do you think? Is what we hear Khonshu say, and then of course we see uh, Mark. Then is he wait? Isn't Mark actually? Is he's still just Mark?
Mark
I guess.
still. I think Steven is now the inside player. He
Yes.
can't get out right now. Mark is taking control,
Right.
but they're all
As
aware of each other now. It seems.
right, and we hear there is a comment Mark made to Stephen also that was um, that he would maybe the stronger
Stronger person,
part of
personality,
him. Yeah.
or this something about the stronger, maybe the mind, stronger mind or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember that. I have to rewatch it again or something.
Right.
I mean, I will rewatch it too because I'm like that. I'll watch it a second time.
So yeah, he wakes up in it looks like some form. We pretty much assumed right away what it was, but there's like flowing, colorful curtains and everything we see, and of course, as soon as he walks over to the window and opens up the drapes, and we see the pyramids in the background. So clearly in Egypt,
Now we're now we're relocated to Egypt.
all over the place so far, just kind of
We're in the
everywhere. But
UK. Now we're in Egypt. Where are we gonna go next? America?
well, and don't forget the Alps or whatever, with Germany or wherever. We still don't know.
We
Yeah,
should.
probably will go to
Hey, you know
America at
what?
some point.
Do you know what though? There could be an Easter egg or an end credit scene that leads into Multiverse of Madness. Because I think the way this is set, I think it's going to end right as Doctor Strange is about to come out.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Despite maybe not
And
having a whole lot of references in this one to other Marvel properties, that seems like it
that's
would line up.
we'll see. I mean, it's got that Doctor Strangey kind of feel to it, with gods and deities. Well, they're the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, and there were some other ones that the guy we were watching on YouTube seemed to notice there were some books that talked about Wakanda
Wakanda.
and what was the other one? Uh,
Oh, Asgard. New Asgard,
Asgard,
per se.
yes,
New Asgard. Not the
right,
old Asgard, the new one that's in Tungsberg. Uh, What's Norway? Tungsberg, Norway.
nice.
Sorry,
That
that's
is that
that's all
possible? That's
knowledge.
where they were, where he first woke up, and
No, because that definitely did not look like Asgardians. And Asgardians, I don't think would be able. I don't think Arthur would be able to mind control Asgardians.
yeah, fair point.
They're still, even though they look human and they're not as powerful as sword, they could kill us with
Yeah,
a flick of our finger.
that's fair. That's fair. Well, all right. Well, we got one more of these going on. I think we give this one a 4.6 about. Averages out, which is
Yay!
and ends up being slightly higher than the 4.4 from the previous episode. And so that was again so I had 4.7, Mike had 4.5. These are just easy averages.
Yeah, I know.
um,
You're giving very good numbers. I guess
well,
maybe I'm being conservative. Like,
they're good, is what we're saying. They're
yeah,
both very good. Good so far. But anywho, hey, I did want to say so. Yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out with us, listening. Hey, if you want to email in to us, you can do that at disnerdsplus@gmail.com. That's plus spelled out, or go to disnerdsplus.com. I have to do a little more with that website at some point, but so far there's not too
yeah.
much
Website.
going on there. You can find me at Shave Maddox. You can find Mike at Cool as a Cucumber. We record. This is one thing I keep forgetting to put in here. We're recording tonight, Wednesdays at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/shavemaddox, the same as my Twitter handle. Well, thanks everyone for listening. What was the catchphrase that Herschel wanted me to say? I don't remember. What do you say?
You got a catchphrase? Nice.
We still have to workshop that, but
I don't have a catchphrase.
until next time, Diz on. I don't know. We'll think about that a little bit more. Have a great one.
Disnerds.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, podcast is all set. Still live to the interwebs, though. That's good. Good times.
What?
I was just saying, the podcast is done, but we are still live to the interwebs. But yeah, it was good. It was good talk. We did
Yeah,
it.
I remember. It looks like Dave and Tyler are talking about one. Well, Dave didn't really say much. He was asking about Halo.
Gotcha.
Halo.
I'll have to think about it. Maybe. Maybe. I'll let you guys know, though. We're doing a pretty good job of keeping these to an hour. Like, almost exactly.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Good stuff.
Next one. Number 3. Oh, you know what? I probably could find what the next episode's name would be.
Really?
Maybe.
Ooh, a little teaser.
Let's see. Oh, they won't tell us. Okay, they're masking the titles as well.
Yeah. That's
Son of a bitch.
that is quite all right. I'm probably not going to be able to gain too much from the title anyway, but all right.
Cool.
Good
Never
times.
get it.
And now, like I said, I'll let you guys know if I wind up doing Halo or not.
Okie dokie.
All
I'm
right.
gonna go put my Funko Pop silhouette back before I hurt their boxes.
Sounds good.
All right. See ya.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Later.
There I am again. There we go again on my own. Literally. Thanks everybody else for watching. Thanks for stopping in, Jay Wright /Reezy. Catch you later.